Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Jersey and today we are bringing you another farm together build video, and this one we are in one of our members farm and I'm so excited to be here in Susan's farm. And what we're going to be doing is working on this entrance for her house, right? So she had this idea, she didn't know how to kind of do it, but she wanted a house right here in the snowy biome and to feel like a cabin, right? And I was like, all right, let's do this. I have no idea how to do this. All right, so the first thing that I did, and this part you don't see it, but I wanted to see what was the highest point in Farm Together. And guys, we can go really high. Now, one thing that I learned, and this is something that we're going to talk about because I believe this is going to be important for a lot of you that are going to try to imitate this or take this idea, run with it, do something different, is it uses a lot of space, and in many ways I wish I would have gone bigger. Now it was a whole learning curve because part of this idea was we're gonna find the highest point, we're gonna do like a mountain, right? We wanted a mountain in this farm, and then we're gonna do this hiking trail in a way that you're gonna get in here, and that was a learning curve. So this was a learning experience, and I'm so thankful for Susan to give me the opportunity not just to hang out with her and chat and talk while we're building, but also the opportunity to create something new and experiment with this game that we are all loving, right? We're loving this game, we are so into it. But it took me a moment. You're gonna see over here a lot of trial and error, especially when it comes to terraforming, because it's different. The squares are really big, so and when you want to do this trail, even though you have a ledge, it doesn't let you put path in there, so you had to stretch things out. So it was very different. Now if I have to do this again after this experience, I have learned a lot and I know what I need to do to our project next, and that's something that I want you guys to see and experience and understand, that you almost gotta give 2 blocks in each space. So instead of having this mountain with just the ledge, you almost gotta do it one more time, stretch it out, and then you have a pathing to walk, right? And then depending if you're gonna do fencing or trees, you may need triple. So you really gotta experiment and kind of work your way. Now on my approach on this one, I went from top and I was trying to work to my bottom. That didn't work. Then I needed to work from bottom to top. That helped me a little bit. So in the future, if I was going to duplicate this again and try and do a different style, a different entrance, and also create a mountain with a different feel, I am going to approach it a little bit different. And I think that's part of the learning curve. And that's something that I think we all learn, right? We're constantly learning about new games, the way we design, because every game is always different. So as you can see, there's gonna be a lot of terraforming, always a lot of trial and error, and don't be afraid to do that. If you're gonna be committed to do a design, something unique, something different, don't be afraid to use your diamonds. Don't be afraid to just blow through them. Just use them, create something special. Don't give up on your idea. And that was the struggle here. So you can see, I'm testing the ramps, I'm already expanding corners, I'm expanding sections because I want to do this walking trail. And like I mentioned earlier, something that I didn't think about was that I needed more space eventually for trees, and that was a little bit on the downside. Now we still made it look good. Susan still, like, I think at the end result was really good. Now we are gonna expand on this idea in the future as she buys more property. I'm gonna come back on another day and we're gonna keep working on this mountain especially, but the whole front, by the end of this video, the whole front is done, right? And guys, and I'm telling you, I think it came out really good. Okay, so what I'm doing, is now testing the pathing. I want to make sure that I can go in here, take a curve, make sure I can go, because I really wanted to feel like a trail. It was easier if I just want to go straight up and go down the middle, but I wanted to make something unique and something that felt more like a mountain trail that you're climbing up to this cabin that you gotta go. And I know we don't have to do that. We can jump the ledges with the tractor or the character, but I think it's fun to create a walkway, to create something unique. As you can see over here, I need to start adjusting stuff. I'm like, okay, I need to adjust more. I need more space. The curve is not working. I need more. And this is why I'm leaving a lot of this chunk in, because not just you see it, but you can see the struggle, right? And this is why, see how much now we're expanding. You see how bigger the gap and the platforms are. and we get it wider. Now I'm cutting more up to here. We want to get rid of all of this front, so we're gonna terraform all the way into back here just a little more, eventually all that platform, because we want it to be ground floor, because at the same time we want this to feel, when you're walking on it, you look up and you're like, wow, look at this. So the lower you are, the better. Okay, so you can see I'm adding more brands, we are expanding, and you can see now that on the right side everything is a little more forward compared with the left side. Now we do adjust a little bit of the left side, but I still want it to be different shape, right? We don't want this to be everything exactly the same. So that's something that I was trying to do. Something also that we need to mention, you know, if you're designing in Farm Together, is get prepared that you're gonna use more space than you ever imagined, and that's always the case. That's something that happens to me all the time. Designing in this game, it takes a lot more space, a lot more areas, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this takes so much space. And that's okay, Just make sure that when you're gonna start the design, be prepared, mentally prepared, that you're gonna take over the side, and or you're gonna have to make compromises and tweak it down to make it smaller. Now, if you've been following me on my live streams when we build in live in some of these builds, you can see that I've compromised, right? And I make, instead of a circle, came out oval, because I didn't want to go over the space that I really wanted just to keep this build. So there's two ways to approach it. Always remember, either you're going to use more space than you thought, because trust me, it's going to happen, or your design, you gotta change it to tweak it to fit in the area that you want it to fit. But that's always gonna be okay. It's gonna be completely okay. So something else that I was trying to do here is, you know, use the different pathing and do the curves and all of that. Now, at the end of the video, you're gonna see that a lot of these curves change. Why? Because they're great, but I wanted to put pine trees and say only I have such a limited amount of space. When you curve, it doesn't let you put anything on those tiles, so it was kind of like a waste. So I did make the trail a little more narrower, instead of using the wide curves, so that way I can actually put rocks, I can actually put pine trees, and you're gonna see that at the end. But at the moment, if you like this idea, you can use this wide curve, and if you give yourself more space, like I mentioned, give yourself, if we got right here and you see the space, give yourself another space, kind of another square, then put the trail, so that way you can put trees and stuff like that. What that's gonna happen is gonna make your build bigger. So you know, I wanted to work in this space that I was given, and I didn't want it to expand. So that's why some of the compromises that you see now that we're making is, and that's the reality, is truly the reality of this game. But now I'm tweaking here, I'm trying to get this shape, I'm trying to get the curve, I want to make sure that I can come down, I want to make sure that I want to go this way and go that way. And as you can see, you're gonna keep tweaking, you're gonna keep deleting, you're gonna keep adjusting, but it's fun. I was having so much fun, not just because I get the opportunity to design in another farm that's not just mine, but also because I get to learn. This is a great opportunity for me to learn, to kind of understand more the mechanics, all the building, and see how far we can push this game for what is given at this time. And I'm telling you, it's just been fun to build this game. And in a way, it's simple, but at the same time, it's so much fun. Like, I'm having so much fun and I don't know why. It's just the way you get to work and design. You know, it's fun, it's a little relaxing. You can make it as simple as you want, and you can try to make it as complicated as you want. And also, if you focus on the map, if you want to, you can create some cool design, not just what you see on the screen, but also when you go to the map, you can start seeing amazing cool things. Now, something that I really wanted to do, because this is a mountain, and like I mentioned, you see, you don't have enough space to put pine trees anywhere with the walkway, but it was too much brown, and I really wanted to break that, because it's a mountain. I really wanted to see green, brown, and snow. So what we decided to do is to use the hedges, and using the lowers to give you this effect of, you got the hedges, you got brown, snow, hedges, brown, snow. And as you go up, and then you slowly start planting all these pine trees. Now, the trick with the pine trees, the way that I approach it is kind of to keep it separated and find these locations where I can plant it. And as you can see, you can't do it on the edges. That was a little sad. So sometimes I'm going to be tweaking some of the edges again, especially at the end of the video. We tweak a little bit more so we can put more. And that's why some of these big curves, I actually took them out and made them single, so we can, in those spaces that doesn't let you do it, we can actually put stuff, and that way we got a little more greenery. But one thing that really helped, and to me this was the big key, and I started liking this build, is the hedges. Believe it or not, the hedges bringing all this extra green that it would be impossible. And you could do a fence back there, but then I don't know, it just would have been too empty. And I like this green, and trust me that as we keep adding this extra green, adding the palm trees, adding what we're gonna add in the front, everything's gonna start taking such an amazing shape. And then we're gonna do this brick fence with the white fence like together, and I think that's really great. Now some of the items are here, of course they're approved by Susan, because Susan, this is her farm, you know, and I want to make sure that the stuff that we use is something that she likes. Something that we added here, and we added this light, that this was before we got the update of the lights, so that was really cool, because now we got the new lights that we added at the end. We added on the walkway, so at night looks really nice, and instead of being dark, you got this nice illumination. So very exciting. Over here I was trying to see if I want to go with the tall hedges. I wasn't sure. I did a little test. We're gonna leave some, but at the end we did replace a lot of those tall ones, because I don't know. I don't know. I prefer seeing a little bit of the brown and the green at the same time than just blocking it completely, and it looks like just a blob of green. Now if you like it, and if you like this idea and you prefer not seeing the brown and making it all tall with the hedges, then feel free to do that. You know, it's gonna be depending what you like, you know, and everybody's different. Everybody likes a different way to approach their farm, their design, their colors, their style, and that's always important. Okay, so something that we're doing right here right now is, as you can see, we're adding a little bit of elegance, just a little bit. Now this is supposed to be a cabin, and at some point you're gonna see I start making the main entrance in the bottom a little too elegant, and then I get idea from Nestor. I was showing what we were creating, and she voiced out an idea. I tell Susan, and Susan liked it, so we kind of scrap. But I'm gonna show you what we did at the bottom, so you can see it, just in case you like it, because we kind of halfway done, then you can imitate the other half, or use that idea for another design. And then we're gonna do kind of like the other idea. So yeah, so I could have made this video shorter and not show you that first half and just go with the other half, but I think that part of the design was already there, so I think it's enjoyable for you guys to see and see what you guys can do. But as you can see, we're just adding a lot of fence over here. We did our alternation. I tried to do a first wave just brick. It just, I don't know, it was too solid, and then you can see the hedges in the back, and I really wanted to see hedges through the white fence, but if I put it all white, I don't know, it was too white, and white with snow, it just, I don't know, it wasn't working. But like I mentioned earlier, you know, taste is taste, and just because I didn't like a combination, that doesn't mean that you are gonna like it. So if you're watching this and you like the idea, but maybe you don't like what I'm doing, feel free to go all in one particular fence if that's what you like. Maybe you like the brown one, maybe you like the black one, maybe you want to do a metal one, you know, just depending what you really want to do. Okay, so now I'm terraforming it over here because I need more trees. I need something. I need to add some decorations. It's just a little too plain. So as you can see, we're adding a couple stumps, like, but all that gets replaced again at the end, by the end of the video. A lot of this little stuff gets to replace. So, and we're gonna do this amazing shot showing everything around. So stick around for the end so you can see everything. But now this part is one of the most important, is the bottom part. The bottom part is going to give you a little more of that foresty feel comparable to what we could do in the mountain. Like I mentioned again, if you really want this mountain to feel a little more foresty, that means that you're going to use more space. That means that you got to make it wider. That way you have a pathway and one more square so you can put trees. And yeah, it's gonna stretch it out. So you gotta make sure if you're gonna have the space allocated for that, or if you want that mountain to look like that, more wider than taller, because it's just gonna feel different, right? It's gonna feel different. So my job was to try to make the bottom feel a little more foresty, and some of the corners as much as I can, not right in the middle, but some of the corners. So what I did, I extended a little bit on the corners, especially on the last two platforms, kind of to give me a little bit of edge, so I can put a little more trees and feel a little bit different. And I think that's gonna help. Now also the property line at the end, once we do the final details, that's gonna help. But as you can see, we added a lot of pine trees and a lot of separation, because I had this idea to do boulders in between the pine trees, as you're gonna see a little bit later. And I think the boulders also give you that feel of a mountain, right? It's just gonna be like, ooh, look at this, boulders, mountains, you know, cabin, you know. I I just ended up liking that. Okay, so on the top, I asked Susan if she wanted a fence. No fence, any different fence, keep it going, keep it the same alternation, just do it brick or not. And what we decided is just to go the same sequence as we done all the way to the hiking trail, going up the mountain. We want to keep that going, that way everything is nice and balanced, right? And I think balancing is very important, especially in depending on the builds, to have a sequence that is not too distracting. Okay, so what I did, as you can see, we put a pine tree over there. We're gonna put one here. That way, in the bottom, when you look from the all the way bottom, you look up, you also see some pine trees. I added a couple of the palm tree, the plum trees, just to give you a different. Now the plum trees get replaced for another type of greenery because we ended up getting new trees. So I was like, hey, I can replace that and give you a little bit of that greener instead of that darker green. Okay, so now this is the portion. Now this is what we're going to be working on here. Now take the idea, take the screenshots, use it, add it to your island if you like this design for another type of entrance. Now I'm going to be doing this design again in another build that actually can use it, but this design was coming out a little bit too elegant. It just came out a little too elegant. And when I was showing this and talking with Nestor, she actually gave me a great idea. What about if, since it's supposed to be more like a mountain and a cabin trail, instead of doing all this design work and all of that, what about if we did a lake? And I was like, you know what? I really like the lake idea. Let me run it by Susan on the next day, you know. And as you're gonna go see, this is still the same day. And then once we start taking all this down, I came back the following day to keep working on this idea. Now, I like this. I really like this. And if we went a little more elegant on the top of the mountain, or you go elegant, or you just want to keep it and do the first half, it's really nice. Like what we were coming up with. I really like it, especially the way it was looking on the map. I thought the map was looking really cool. Okay, so something that hit me at one point is like, you know what could look cool? A little windmill way up there, just to give it as something else for a building. And I really like it. I really like it. And I almost went with two, but I decided just to go with one. That way it's not too obvious that we're trying too hard. And just one windmill, I think that will do the trick. So now we're adding all these flowers over here. We got the design, we got the roundness, and on the bolts of the side, we're gonna add all this water. So I'm just gonna, you know, we're just gonna go around, we're gonna fast forward, you're gonna see all the water over here. And then the other thing I wanted to do was a bridge cutting it in the middle. Now the problem was that the bridge was gonna fall where you want it. That's something that the more I play this farm together, sometimes where you want to put something, it's not going to work the way that things curve and all of that. So something to keep in mind, and that you're just going to have to adjust or compromise yourself. Compromise the idea, you know, of how you want to do it. So, but as you can see, I kind of adjusted it. I pushed it a little more over here, push them over here, make sure the bridges are attaching, and then we had a good sequence. And what we're gonna do, as you can see, we're gonna duplicate what we did on the right side. We're gonna do it on the left, right? And we're gonna add all this greenery. We're gonna add this, but as you can see, it's changing the feel, almost to a resort. I think Susan even said it, like it's looking a little elegant, kind of like a cabin resort, and that's not kind of what we like we wanted. But you know me, I don't know, in this game I love creating like botanical gardens and this beautiful scenery all the time, and I don't know, because it's different. I like the way we can do that in this game and work with the pathing, and as I'm creating pathing, I'm creating how that's gonna look on the map. So my mind in this game is very different, but as you can see, we're creating these cool borders. We're doing around over here. We want to loop it this way, everything attaching to the bridge, and I want to again imitate what we got in the corner. And I love how this pathing, how they do this, and then this looks so cool on the map. And it's just, I don't know, I just like the idea when you're designing and how things look in the map. Now let me clarify that it's not important how things look in the map. Always make sure that you like the way the build is looking in real life, right? Unless you're designing for the map. If you're designing as the map, then that's different. If you're designing first here, then you do it here. Okay, so I added some of the green bushes in the corner because I don't want something tall to cover the lake. I don't want that. I'm taking these two out because I feel like I got way too many now, and I wanted to adding this rock. I think this rock was gonna help to a little bit of the mountain and bring this little gray that still looks great, right? Okay, so now I was thinking that I wanted to bring more water, But then I forgot that when you do this curving, you get all these empty spaces. And I'm like, man, I don't know. So what I decided to do is kind of take out the pathing, go straight. Now, it just depends on what you like. If you like the curving, and because one thing that was bothering me is how you see the snow on the other side, because I couldn't cut it in. I don't know, it just was weird and it was bothering. So now I went kind of more simple this way and do the walkway. And we kind of got to that part that we were almost done with this build, and then I was gonna come back the next day, and all of this is gonna be taken down. all of this work is gonna be taken down. But I think we did the right choice. And I think it's gonna look really good. Something that I was trying to do here is to see if I wanted to add like bushes over here. I can't wait till we get like real bush flowers, you know, the big one, like hydrangeas or something like that, that really can elevate the areas and not keep using some of these items. But we're in early access, we're getting all the updates, and the great thing about that is areas that we already done, all future builds, we're gonna have more fun. We're gonna have a lot of more fun. Okay, so something I wanted to do here, because we got snow, so I was like, you know what about if I use some of the white ones just to create that effect of snow, like maybe there's some snow on top of here or not. So we tried that, adding that in. I wanted to change a little bit of the bridges, kind of put them a little more together. I didn't like in the way it was making the area, and I was losing a little bit of those curves, and you know, I was adjusting because the idea of the lake was not happening yet. That happened after I finished this, and I said bye to Susan, and I was talking to Nestor, and then the lake idea happened. But for now, we are adjusting this, and as you can see, I really wanted to add more water because it felt like I didn't have enough water on both sides. And by taking out those curves pathing, it led me to make the water a little more wider. And I really started to enjoy that, because part of this idea is to have this volume of water that really calls out to you, right? And you're like, wow, look at this, look at all this water. And then we added a little this, we added a little the brick fence over here, and I was trying to see if I like the brick more, if I wanted something different. And then we added this when we added some of the hedges, just to see, we were getting to the point, and I was unsure if I want to have edges. And this is when, again, everything getting a little too elegant. I was going too elegant, I was going too fancy. And if you like it, and that's the case, right? It's depending on the person that you're building or helping and what was their idea, right? Now, I like what we're doing, I really do, and I can't wait to do this in another place. I can't wait to do it, because I think I like this idea, and I like the bridges, and I like the lake, I like the separation, I like everything that we've done. But what we're gonna do next, it's gonna come out very soon, is it was the right call. It was the right call. You're gonna see it at the end. I believe we made the right call. I think Susan was very happy how we ended everything. But this is right at the end of the first day. I couldn't get everything done, thank goodness, because now we're gonna take everything out. So we're here in the very next day after one of our live stream. And if you were following, you know I said I'm going to Susan. We're gonna do amazing things, and here we are. So now we clear everything. What we did, we added all the bridges in one row right down the middle. That's the first thing we did, line it up. We're gonna do this amazing walkway down the lake. The next thing that I did is adding these beautiful blue boats, because it's a lake. We're gonna add this, and I was trying to figure out how do I want the pattern to be. Once I figured out the pattern that I want it to be, then the fun part was adding all this water. Now at the end, if you're gonna notice at the lake, we wanted to keep more of the real water, so because it looks calming, it looks beautiful, it doesn't look busy, and I think it's beautiful. I think if you work on a design that just uses water, I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's just it's so calming. So what we decided to do is we're gonna have fish strategically in front of the boat, 3 spots, and that's it, and just fish next to the boats, and the rest is gonna be water. So that happens later on. We're gonna work and adjust all that, but it really made the lake feel more calmly, less busy, and where there are the boats, there's a little bit of fishing, and I really like that. So now the most important part that we're working on is to still create that illusion of a forest, right? We need to create this forest, and we need to do a separation from the snow to the grass. That's going to be very important. You're going to see what we did at the end that I think really makes this idea work really good, and I can't wait to explain that at the end. But as you can see, I'm doing a lot of palm trees. I'm doing a lot of pine trees, and we're alternating in between them, kind of make a little section, because at the same time I need to leave some spaces because we are gonna add some of the boulders. We're gonna start in the corner here. We're gonna put some pine trees and another pine tree, and we're gonna alternate. They're gonna put two together. You know, on this side, even though we were trying to keep everything as with symmetry, at the same time what's happening is we got an edge on the border, and that's what I mean later on. We work on the front. Eventually we want to round out the mountain. Once she unlocks the next lands and stuff like that, we're gonna come back and kind of do an adjustment a little bit. But the most important is to get the front right, because this is where everything is at. As you can see over here, I'm picking different boulders. The way I do boulders is I alternate now and then, pick the same one, maybe do two of the same, grab another one, grab another shape. Can I do a big one? Can I do a small one? And just go with your feeling. Truly, go with your feeling. See what you like. You like it, don't like it, move it around. Go until you find something you're like, this is good. I really like this. And that's the approach. As you can see, I put a real big one, I put this one, I put one that looks more like a wall. I'm gonna put a little one over here. And then one of the last touches that we did at the end is add a little bit of red. Now, I like red. I chose it. I mean, you guys know, if you follow me, if you watch me, there's a bit, it's a funny thing, but I do like red. But I figure red with the snow, what's going to bring this little color that we need. We just needed something. We just needed something that you can see. And over here, we're going to fill this up with beautiful, beautiful red in some of the spaces, not everywhere, because we can't put everywhere. But as you can see, I'm gonna take a little, like I take a little bit of that. We're gonna move a little bit of the boulder over here, and then we're gonna add a little red. I just wanted a little bit of shade, just a little bit of red, so when you look through it, you see a little red, and when they get a little taller, fully grown, it's gonna look really good. Now, as you can see, some of this curve eventually are gonna change at the end. It's gonna look different. It's gonna look different. You're gonna see it on the final shot when we do the flyover of all this build. But now I'm moving a couple things. I feel like, let me do a little picnic area over here with a little campfire. As you can see, we added the logs, we added red on top over here, and then there was something really bothering me. Once we added all this stuff, it was the entryway. I just, you know what, I needed more space. It just didn't feel right, and it felt so tight. So what I decided to do is kind of redo the front. I like the idea that we went both sideways, but you know what? I want both sideways to feel more like a balcony now and give me that extra space back, and we just walk straight to the middle into the house. So that's what we're doing. So this one was a little tricky because we needed to do a little terraforming and make it just fit just right, but it did give us this extra opening. I was able to add a little more flowers. I think that actually helped the build so much more. And again, adding this extra flower, even though it was minimal, it really gave you a little bit of color, and for me. And then as you can see, by taking out those hard curve, now I was able to put pine trees, and that really started making this walkway and the area feel a little more full. And to me, it was very important that we had like a little more pine trees. It just felt a little bit empty in the mountain. As you can see, we adding the fences a little bit here. I decided like how to put these white ones. Do I want to put it in the front, in the back? So I decided to just put it in the front, nothing inside. So we're gonna keep the inside empty because, you know, it's nice. It's just nice. And we don't need that double fencing. You can see that we got hedges wrapped around of the house on the top. And then what I decided to do is at the end to recreate a clean division. That way when we're inside the build, you don't see outside, you don't see this grass. We went ahead and finally added the tall hedges as a wall. I think that's great. And we're gonna do another transition a little bit deeper because we want the transition not to feel like it's just there. But we're gonna do that in another time when we need to keep fixing a little bit of the side of the mountain. That's gonna come with it. But look at the view right here. I really like the way it's turning out. As you can see the fish, you see the minimal fish around the area. And then we're gonna give you the final look how this build turned out. And I am so happy. I am so happy because I was nervous. I was very nervous at first. I didn't know how far and how this idea was gonna turn out. But I love the lake. I you know, more than the mountain, more than anything, the lake idea to me is the winner. It's absolutely amazing. I love the boats. The boats give you this amazing feel, and you see the fishes. You see how minimal the fish are. They're just very close, and not on the ones in the back, but the backs are getting ready to kind of be loaded. And then we get this view. You look at everything that we did. Look at the mountain. Look at the pines. Now we definitely gonna add more pines in the future, so don't you worry. But we were just concentrating on the front of this build, and then we're gonna work on the side and the back and all of that. But as we move, look at this. Look at this. And we got plans. I'm gonna come back to Susan. We're gonna add something even more. Not just on the side. We got amazing plans coming. Remember, we got other videos and other stuff, other people's schedules. So I'm very excited. But this, I want this. At the end, I was like, my goodness, I want this in my farm. I think we did good. I'm so happy that the elevation is so high. I love the way all of this feels, you know, the pine trees, the lights. You see all the little lights that we added on the walkway. So at night it's a little bit illuminated. Those are some of the new stuff that came in the new update is, you know, and again, the red, the curving, the dark, you know, adding the plum trees. I think, you know, it's still playing a well. I may change them eventually, but I really like it. And if you step out of the house, you get this view and look at the vista with the big mountains in the back. Once again, I'm really delighted. I'm very happy how this turned out at the end. I'll be honest, I was nervous at first. Like any build that I do, I'm always nervous. Can I make it happen? Can I make their vision a reality? And I'm so happy that we made that possible. And it's thanks to all of you for the encouragement, for believing in me during the live stream, and always encouraging me that we can build, we can do amazing things. But I'm gonna try to run this as a first-person view. I like this idea, and it just gives you that cinematic look without the character. But look at this. You see the fish, and I think that's what makes the lake so special. It's just a few fish. That's the trick. It's not full, it's not busy. It's a very calm lake that when you take it in, you can just enjoy it. I love the rain. I just love how the rain is falling right here. I love this. And you know, and I just want you to take it in. I want you to take what can be possible in this game. Sometimes we gotta take our minds off the farm mentality. Yes, it is farm together. It is a farming game. But you can do more than just farming. You can do more than just farming plus. Yes, have your farming plus so you can make diamonds, because it's important, you know, as we get more stuff and metals and all of that. Yes, but the map is huge, and we have so much opportunity as in every update to start decorating, to start building, to start doing amazing things. I really love the walkway of the bridge, as you can see right over here. We're gonna go this way, and look at this. This is just so cool. I feel like I'm on a little ride, you know. It's like tuk, 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 and we're just taking the ride and going like that. But you see all the new lights that we added. It looks beautiful at night. It absolutely does. I'm excited the way it looks at night. We did kind of like that little more orange glow. That was a little less dim. So that, you know, give it a try. I think you guys are gonna like it. As you can see, we're gonna go up. I really like all the feel, all of this, and when we take the final turn and we get over here, and look at that. Look at that. Love the windmill, love the logs that we put in, the pine tree. We put new lights right here in the front, you know, and like I mentioned, apart, maybe a little bit of this gets to push back once we can to work in the back of the mountain. There's a lot of ideas. There's a lot of stuff that still to do, but I'm very happy on the way this actually turned out. I'm really happy. The feel, the combination, the items that we use, even though the terraforming was a little hard, and I'll admit it was a little bit hard. You know, I learned a lot, and I know this is gonna push my builds and my ideas to the next level the next time I do another build like this. We're just gonna keep improving each and every time, and that's how we learn. You know, that's how we learn ourselves. That's how we push our build. That's how we push our creative, our imagination in any game to the next level, is by giving it a try. But guys, this is the lake, this is the cabin. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I'll see you all on the next one. All right guys, see you later. Bye.